can hear me.
I can't hear him, but can he hear me? Okay. Good thing. Hey, Gordy, can you hear me? It's Jason.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. We're just testing the mic, making sure everything is ready to go before we hit this thing. Thank you for joining us here on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Jason Hackett, and we are following some breaking news right now. We're on the scene of a possible ICE situation in South Minneapolis. So let's tell you where this is happening. This is at Portland Avenue South and 33rd. That's just a few blocks away from Powderhorn Park. So we do not have a lot of information confirmed right now other than a large police presence is near the scene. You're taking a live look at that right now. Of course, this is all happening as DHS says it is in the middle of its largest immigration enforcement ever right now in the Twin Cities. Some 2,000 federal agents deployed out here, 150 arrests here in the last few days. So that was a live shot you're seeing near the scene. We have our Gordon Severson live out there. He just arrived. Gordon, I know it's hectic. I know there's a lot going on right now. Tell us what you know and what you're seeing out there.
Well, yeah, we're here at the corner of 33rd Street and Portland Avenue, and more than 100 people here. And as we're walking over, we saw about a dozen or so federal agents kind of getting out of their vehicles, walking this way with full-on, protective gear and weaponry. And then we got here to the scene, and there was a few dozen more federal agents here already at the scene. You can see it's already blocked off, and we're seeing a few dozen Minneapolis police officers also here at the scene. I did put a call into police to kind of get some information to see what they know about this incident, but I have not heard back from them at this time. Now, when I first got here to the scene, I did hear from a couple of told me that a federal agent, someone involved in a federal operation, had shot someone. We're working to figure out to try to confirm that information. They claim that the vehicle that this person was in was towed away from the scene several minutes ago before we got here. Again, we're trying to confirm some of that information. Jana, our colleague Jana Shortle, was actually just interviewing that witness just a few minutes ago, just down the block. And Jana's actually been here this morning, and I'm going to see if I can grab Jana to kind of describe a little bit more about what has happened. Do you have a quick minute to talk about Chocolate? You've been here kind of all, for about a half hour or so. What have you kind of been seeing?
I got a call. This is my neighborhood. I got a call that someone had been shot. This was a source calling me, and I came to check it out.
Liberal white woman. All right. So shout out to everybody that is here. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Of course, the topic has changed because in Minneapolis, there was a shooting. Child, we just talking. We're going to talk about it. Okay. By an ICE agent, and the woman is deceased. She out of here. She gone. Now, nobody really knows what's going on. Well, they know that ICE shot someone and she's dead. But now the question is, how does it happen? And of course, over here on this side, somebody's saying something. Over here, somebody else is saying something different. So we got to figure it out because, we can't trust all these people, especially liberal white women. Anyway, so this is a live feed from KARE. It's been on for some time. So let me bring it forward to see what these people have to say right here. And it's going on right now currently.
This is in the middle of this surge that is happening here in the Twin Cities. This is obviously happening in a very residential neighborhood. Let's check in with Ian right now, our Ian Russell, for the very latest. Ian, what are you learning? What are you seeing out there?
Right now, and Jenny, you've been here a little bit longer than I have right now, but we're near the intersection of 33rd and Portland. It's really residential. A lot of houses around here are very much so a neighborhood, and it's got intense. I mean, there are a lot of people out here who have been shouting back and forth or just shouting towards immigration officials and things like that. But Jenny, I know you've been here a little bit longer than I have. What have you seen so far?
Sorry, it looks like there's just some movement. There's a movement or the march. Let's just keep tabs on what's happening over here. What I've seen is basically what you're seeing, just grow by a minute. There's obviously hundreds and hundreds of ICE officers and NPD officers here now. The head ICE operations like this, Dan Bovino, is who I've seen. The police chief has been here and visibly agitated. This is something that the police chief warned about yesterday. Right, just talking about yesterday. biggest fear is that someone was going to get hurt. And judging by the time that we've been here now, and there's been no movement, only more people showing up, not leaving. Typically, these operations are fast, so we know something happened here. And we know I'm seen because there is tape up for at least 2 blocks stretching all through this part of South Minneapolis near Powderhorn area. So it's starting to get, just more and more tense as more and more people show up. But we've been given no updates from authorities. But I can tell you just by visiting,
You hear from people.
you can hear lots of folks very upset about it.
All right, child. That feed is annoying AF. Let me move forward because it's starting to become a situation as we would assume that it would be, right? People gathering, accusing, protesting. So we don't know. So A. Harris said that he reserves judgment. I'm reserving judgment right now too. The only thing that I can say is that, that's why I said this side is saying this side is saying that. You know how that go. I've heard in this short period of time, this person was protesting, maybe had placed herself in the middle of something, allegedly, okay, allegedly. Some other people are saying it's the problem with the fact that ICE is here and what they're trying to do. Now, I don't think this has anything to do clearly with daycare fraud, right? This ain't got nothing to do with Somalis. I saw somebody ask that. I think this is about whoever it is they're trying to deport, which I don't know nothing except for somebody did, and ICE allegedly did it.
There was an incident where people came, they didn't know the information. Police deputies didn't know who was being what.
There's been a few incidents.
Right. Well, the chief said that he called these tactics back then questionable, and he said they were unplanned, and he said they were putting everybody's safety at risk. Again, I'm not jumping to conclusions as to what happened this morning, but this is what he said on December 10th. From a tactical perspective, things could be well planned beforehand, both for the safety of law enforcement and the safety of people in our community, and that we wouldn't have to deal with so many stories after the fact, end quote, is what he said. And right now, we have a lapse in information on this story. And so we're trying to get those facts so we can convey them to the public.
This situation with these federal agents going into different parts of Minneapolis has been happening, as Chris said, at least for a month now. We have also seen it in St. Paul. I have talked with Mayor Melvin Carter myself.
An officer.
All right, so
to be able
the dude we saw yesterday, the mayor, came and had a news conference. So I'm gonna just, move forward to that, because as you can see, it looks like, when I was younger and my mother said if there was issues or problems someplace, you go the opposite way, right? You don't go towards where the issues are, where the problem is, where the ruckus is at. I told my children, if something goes on, you need to go the opposite direction. You need to leave, because God forbid something happens to you while you over here trying to be nosy. So you see all these people that's gathered here now. I mean, of course they're going to gather, right? Me, I'm out. You know that. Shout out to everybody that is here. But you know how Black people always say if they see a Black person running, they running with them. Child, that ain't true no more. People just be going on out here, right? I guess they may be trying to get the Nick Shirley story or something like that.
Instruments, loud noises. And so it's definitely changed from when I was here earlier this morning when it was very quiet.
You see the caption now, ICE agent shoots and kills a civilian.
Viewers that are just, kind of tuning in, the scene has definitely changed from a law enforcement perspective. This morning, a lot of federal agents, a lot of FBI, but in the last hour or two, I haven't seen any federal agents. It's been mostly police and county sheriff's deputies who are now here keeping the scene secure so they can continue their investigation just down the street where those 3 vehicles are still smashed up against that light pole.
Next of kin, or what was the fight about? What was happening there? We saw a motion during our interview during the press conference, and we couldn't decipher what it was, Gordy.
Yeah, I mean, some of the witnesses were telling me that it was someone that was maybe on the other side that was, calling out the protesters, and that was what happened. Others said it was someone that was, maybe having some sort of a mental illness situation and crossed a line.
Oh, mental illness situation or protesters. That's what he said. Probably, but allegedly, I don't know. We're figuring it out. Maybe protesters. Of course, there'd be protesters, right? Even though if they showing up out of the blue, like you don't know in advance, how you gonna come and protest? Maybe they come and protesting now. See, I don't know. Shout out to RB and shout out to all of y'all. Please make sure you hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new.
And then the crowd was reacting, and that started it. But that situation has been de-escalated, and there was no police intervention with that. It was all kind of people involved in the crowd that were handling that. But that, from what I've seen, that person is no longer here at the scene.
All right, Gordy, we're happy to see it does look like a peaceful crowd gathering and just exercising their First Amendment rights. We appreciate you being on the scene for us. We want to let you know that the government.
Hear that, reporter, exercising their First Amendment rights. Y'all supposed to be going the opposite way. Ciao.
The governor is scheduled to hold a press conference coming up at 2:15, and we will be taking that live.
Is it 2:15? Is that what we're doing?
Yep, we're going to an NBC News special report.
Are going to do everything possible to get to the bottom of this, to get justice, and to make sure that there is an investigation that is conducted in full. But what we do know is that a 37-year-old woman is dead and that she was shot by ICE. We've dreaded this moment since the early stages of this ICE presence in Minneapolis. Not only is this a concern that we've had internally, we've been talking about it. They are not here to cause safety in this city. What they are doing is not to provide safety in America. What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust. They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people. So they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed. As soon as it happened and we learned of the incident, we had several priorities. The first, of course, was to get the victim to the hospital and to get care as soon as possible. To the family, I'm so deeply sorry. There's nothing that I can say right now that's going to make you or your relatives or the friends of the victim feel any better. There were, I believe, 2 Minneapolis police officers that responded and were in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. The second was to get ICE off of the scene. There were dozens, if not hundreds, of ICE and federal officers that were there at the time. Having them there was only causing more chaos. Having them there was only making a difficult situation even more problematic, and one that, yes, they created themselves. There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE.
Is he going to speak it in English?
To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not
Your
want you
discretion
here.
is advised, child.
Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave. It's on you to make sure that further damage, further loss of life and injury is not done. We're going to be working towards justice as quickly as we possibly can right now, and justice is what we've all got to get. Next, the message to our community. Look, we all know that the agenda of this Trump administration is to create chaos. Let us respond right now with our best versions of self. This is a moment where all of us in Minneapolis and beyond, we can rise to the occasion. We can show them who we are. We can show them the kind of courage, bravery, love, and compassion that makes Minneapolis, Minneapolis, and that makes America, America. We are better than a bunch of ICE agents being deployed to cities around the country and ripping apart families and communities. We're better than that. And so we are going to meet that hate with love. We are going to meet that despair with hope. We are going to meet that injustice with constitutional justice ourselves. And we're going to make sure that in this very difficult moment, we do not take the bait that these ICE agents are trying to create and that the federal government, to be clear, wants. They want us to respond in a way that creates a military occupation in our city. They want an excuse to come in and show the kind of force that will create more chaos and more despair. Let's not let them. Let's rise to this occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Let's show them something far more beautiful than the kind of division that they're trying to stoke. Let's show them unity of purpose, of love, and the courage of our conviction. Our conviction, to be clear, is rock solid, and it is for our neighbors, all of our neighbors. It's for people who have lived here for 80 years. It is for new immigrants who have made this city a better place. That's the kind of love that we're going to show up with right now. If you're angry, I get it. I am too.
Clearly.
If you're feeling that kind of despair, it's understandable. Let's show them who we can be. Let's show up with peace. To march, to protest, to hug one another, to love all the way with peace. Do not give them what they want. Finally, you know, we've got a lot of work that needs to happen right now to make sure that, first, of course, the scene was secured as much as possible. We were able to get the victim, now deceased, to the hospital. We've got a lot of work to do in the coming days. I want to thank our city enterprise for the work that they have done, but more importantly.
All right, child. Yeah, go ahead and thank everybody. So that's his side of what happened. Now, you know, he was not there, but, you know, he's putting his political spin on it. Even though it's a nice political spin, I'm not saying he's wrong, and I'm not saying somebody else is right. I'm saying this is the first person that I have heard say something about what happened, but I say he wasn't there. And of course, he's going to, you know, say that it's Donald Trump's fault. We've seen people protesting ICE, jumping in front of their cars, trying to,
this is amazing,
you know, touch them and all that type of stuff. We've seen all that. So this is just, of course, what else would we expect him to say? He could be right, though. I'm gonna just leave it at that. He could be right, but we will keep looking and find out. Let me acknowledge Kofa. Thank you so much, hon. I appreciate you. He said, for the help buy the rest of message for the help buy the rest of message jacket fund. Sorry I had to break up this morbid ish. Ice baby. Dan is wild, and y'all be safe. Absolutely. Thank you so much. That is hilarious. Yo, I don't know. I'm gonna leave my what I think might be happening until we get somebody else to say something. Because we wouldn't expect him to say anything else but to be like, oh, this is Donald Trump's fault. We already know, right? We know. Shout out to EJ in the building. He said more babble ish crats mad that Trump drained into swamp. Allegedly. Let's see what the oppressor has to say, child.
To the city council, state legislators that were on the scene. This has been a very difficult time for everyone in the city. And this is obviously a very, very tragic situation where a woman has lost her life. That being said, in addition to this tragedy, which unfortunately we did predict, we were seriously concerned about further escalation from the scene. I want to thank the elected officials that came themselves to help us prevent that from happening, as well as the individuals on that scene that remained peaceful and that abided by law enforcement instructions so that we could preserve that scene and ensure that a full and transparent investigation can take place. That being said, I just echo the mayor's comments that we ask that the community continue to call for peace.
Yeah.
That we do not have.
Chief, thank you, Sheriff, thank you, council members. Sure. I'll open it to questions.
Any idea on the identity of the ICE officer?
I don't have that information, no. The question was, is there an identity of the ICE officer that fired? I do not have that.
We're going to ICE officer stopped a position from helping the lady shot. That's true. We've seen video all over social media.
All right, y'all. I'm not gonna sit here because you can't hardly hear them. Let's go over here to Fox Minneapolis. This is a few hours old. It says Minneapolis ICE shooting detailed by witness who saw it happen. This is what we need to hear. What other people have to say. We still gotta suss through it.
Give me your name and kind of look over this way instead of at the phone.
Sure. My name is Aiden Perzana.
Child, I thought that was a woman.
Can you spell those for me?
Yeah, AIDANPERZ as in zebra, ANA.
Okay. So just tell me in general, I mean, what did you see out here this morning?
Well, I have a 1 month at home, so I was just getting up. He'd woken me up and was getting dressed when I heard all of the horns and the whistles. And I'd heard horns pass through before as people follow ICE vehicles through the city, but they stayed. They kept going, and so I figured.
Why would people follow ICE? Like if I saw an ICE truck, this is the same thing. I'm going the opposite direction. Why are y'all following them? So he says people typically follow ICE agents when they're in town, I guess to monitor them or something.
Whatever was happening right outside. So I started watching through the window. There was a red Honda Pilot, maroon. There were two people in fatigues, ICE agents, presumably. One was by the passenger side of the vehicle, one was by the driver's side of the vehicle. There was a handful of black and white SUVs, license plates on some of them, front license plates removed, parked sort of kittywampus in the street. And I watched as a third person in full camo come and pull several times on the door handle, at which point the red vehicle reversed a few feet and started driving around, and the person who was by the driver's side originally, not the man who pulled on the door, but who was originally there, shot through the driver's side window 3 times, and the car drove down the street a little bit more and then swerved into a car and then ultimately a telephone pole.
Okay. I think that's really all, because I'm not trying to get you to comment on that. You just saw this. Did you see an ambulance come? Did you?
An ambulance came a few minutes later. There was some delay getting the ambulance to the vehicle because of the number of ICE vehicles in the street, and sort of they slowly moved their SUVs and trucks out of the way. Somebody wearing a camo and a vest that just said police, I think they're ICE, but no identification. Grabbed an orange sort of OtterBox style case.
Y'all gotta give this man a little bit of grace. He's collateral damage. You think that this is what he wanted to see when he woke up this morning with his 1-month-old baby? He looking out the window and people running cars at each other, shooting in the windows. Like, he's probably traumatized. And knowing that the woman died, I'm gonna give him some grace because he didn't ask for this. It's not like he was out there protesting. It's not like he ran down there to see what was going on. He was home. Child, he was home looking out the window saying, "What the fuck?" So I'm gonna give him some grace.
And ran up to the vehicle and they pulled.
Yeah, somebody is yapping in the background. Whoever said that, text 170. Like, girl, shut up.
Pulled the person out and onto the boulevard before the ambulance got there.
When you saw it happen, was that vehicle still moving? Was it at all going towards an agent at that point? Or
so the agents had been on either side, so they just backed up a few feet and then drove forward again. Somebody else said that the vehicle had been stuck in the snow a little bit. So they weren't driving at a person with any intention of hitting them. They were driving between.
All right, that's the end of him. That's the end of his segment. But here's another one. Fox 9, Minneapolis ICE shooting. Video shows what happened. So let's see if they really got video. They just talking shit.
I think you can look at that video and clearly different people are going to look at that same video and come away with different takes on it.
They sure are, no doubt, Amy and Simone. This was a witnessed incident, and there are several different videos from slightly different.
I'm going to need him to get a bigger jacket.
Different angles. So clearly people were out there videotaping what was occurring. I know you just played the video without audio. I have in the newsroom listened to it, viewed it, and I think as the mayor and the police chief filled in some of the holes during their news conference, it appears to be a woman, again, an observer, if you will, or certainly someone who was perhaps they had their car perpendicular in the roadway. It appeared that officers went up, ordered her to move, then ordered her to open the door, and that is when she took off. There is an agent, the ICE agent, who eventually pulls the trigger several times in the roadway. And this is where, depending on how you look at it, depending what agency is looking at it, you certainly heard the mayor called DHS's version of events BS. There is an agent in the roadway. There's an open window. Car sort of gets moving, peels out. I want to be careful with my verbiage. Makes a right turn. The agent opened fires into the window. That car rolls down the road just a little bit further, and that is where it crashes into another vehicle, and they eventually get medical care. And as we now know, the 37-year-old woman perished. She died from the gunshot injuries from that incident. So there is video. The investigation will obviously play out. And Ryan, in our booth, wants to tell me now that we can play it with some audio. Why don't we roll that for you now? Closely scrutinized by people on all sides.
Child, what? There. No warning whatsoever. Y'all really just showed that with no. Oh my God. I don't know if that's okay, y'all. Let me slow it down though, child. Lord, help your people. Help me. Oh my God. Let me slow this down though. Hold on.
Audio. Why don't we roll that for you now?
Yo, you remember the Takaya situation, y'all? You remember that? Is this similar to that? Yo, for those that were here, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, why is the car sideways and why? Where's she going? You see, listen. I don't know how well y'all can see this, right? Do you see the dude in front? He the one that's pulling out his weapon right now because he probably thinks she about to run over him. There's a front angle? There was a front angle? Lord help your people. But you can see that this dude is trying to talk to her right here, right? In through the window because the window is down. But as she's going forward, this dude is bringing out his weapon right now because it looks like she's about to run him over. Allegedly. Look at that. Who is this back here? Who is this back here with the hat on? You see that on the right-hand side of the truck? Yeah, it's definitely a woman's car. You see all these stickers on the back?
This is amazing.
What? Oh, this woman is probably in this white car. Now, listen, y'all. If we find that they were blocking in protest, what? If ICE is coming to town, I'm not going down there, y'all. I'm just not going down there, and I ain't got to worry about them for the most part. Knock on wood, but. I'm certainly not going to put myself in the middle. Dallas just said a second ago that you don't go to protest. I don't go to protest. I'm not protesting shit. I protested from here. I'm not going down there. People want to be going down here and be seen and shit. I'm not, but rest in peace to that lady, okay? I'm not saying, nothing except for what I'm thinking. I don't know. But it looks weird. To have this car be sideways, to be out here in the midst and the presence of ICE while they're doing whatever the hell it is that they was doing, and to run away from them, it reminds me of that Takaya situation, if y'all remember that. I don't know if everybody else remembers it. Let me go back. And if somebody got the front forward facing, if you could send it to me, that would be amazing. I appreciate you. The front view, I mean. Why is that person screaming no? Did she already know something was about to happen? You hear the person, yeah. I mean, you can't not hear it. No! Child, look at, she was on her way. Child, who got the other video? I'm not going to show. Let me see what else we can show afterwards because I don't want to see that again, y'all. So obviously the car started going because probably had foot on the pedal or whatever.
There goes. We're just gonna play the very initial.
So then it looks like it ran into a car and a pole or something. So where's this person in the what? Why are these cars just in the middle of the road? Why are these cars just in the middle of the road?
Second or so there.
To me, sounds like you was trying to block, allegedly. But isn't that what it sounds like? If the road is going this way, how are you this way? If the road goes this way and this way, how are you this way? It sounds like you were. Listen, y'all, let me tell you something. Like Dallas says, I'm not going down here to do shit because of the chance that something like this could happen. I'm not going down here to mess around with these people. So if you as a woman, not that men can't, you know what I'm saying? Not that men don't do stuff, right? But a woman, what is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Why would you put yourself in a position to get into any type of situation? Don't find out, because I'm gonna be mad that she got kids. So you thought that it was more of an important thing to go down here for this than to make sure that you go home to your kids if you got them. Because if the road goes this way and you going this way, it seems like if we put our thinking caps on, remember that for Generation X, you're blocking the road. Why are you messing with these people? Why are you messing with these people? Child. I'm not talking about these broadcasters, right? But we heard what the mayor, who could speak in English today, you see he's speaking in English today, right? Who wants to make sure that it's, he says that it's ICE's fault. This is what he knew would happen. Trump, federal, blah, 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 blah. Jason, I think his name is, explain why the car is this way and the road is this way. I need Jason, since he knows everything, or whatever his name is, child. Why is the car facing this way and the road goes this way? Why is any woman in the midst of any of this shit with regard to ICE, no shade, and all these men? Why? And it looks like from the view that the dude, this ICE agent that was standing here, that's where she was headed. How he supposed to know? How is he supposed to know? So he's supposed to just, it's all good in the hood, child, and just let it be? Is that what we doing?
Be killed. So this video will be closely scrutinized by people on all sides, investigators. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office has chimed in with commentary about wanting a local investigation. We heard during the news conference that the FBI with the BCA will take a look at the investigation, the use of force. Authorities at that news conference didn't appear to know exactly what could transpire on a potential charging decision when you have a federal agent working an operation in the city of Minneapolis. But no doubt, Amy, Simone, this was very much a witnessed event, a documented event. Mm-hmm. And now, whether you call it finger pointing, clearly there's anger. There was an emphasis from the city to get ICE agents out of there. They were the targets of the protests that quickly developed around there. Karen Scullin was out in it. So
Timmy is about to come on. So we're waiting for Timmy to come on, which we probably already knew, right? But yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Yesterday, where we now understand there was a car crash where ICE perhaps was pursuing somebody out in Eden Prairie, and there was a car crash from a fleeing a target, we believe a target of the ICE investigation. There was a mashup at an intersection there, and
so he's saying that they were probably in the midst. It sounds like he's saying they were in the midst of getting someone, and they ran away, whoever they were after. And allegedly, here comes these people. That's why their cars are, y'all, allegedly, okay? We get into the bottom of it. Allegedly. Is that what y'all would do? I mean, I know there's a bunch of different people here. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new. So is that what so you're going to get in your car for the day because you know that there's ICE coming to town. And you see them. And then you see that they're after someone. So you're going to go drive your car in front of, isn't ICE basically the police? Is ICE basically the police, y'all? So you're going to intervene in some mess that, one, ain't got shit to do with you. Two, that could possibly get you taken on up out of here. And three, for what, honestly? For what? For what? Because you hate Donald Trump that much? Because we already know where this is going. Jason, whatever his name is, then already started that. I'm waiting for Timmy. Hold on, let me make sure I got the sound on. Timmy ain't there yet. So protests. Oh, look, protests have erupted already. Of course. People can protest.
Walls will be giving a press conference here shortly. It looks like that crowd that had seemed a bit unruly is now just calmly walking down the street. I'm sure that in the coming days, there will be lots of people wanting to exercise their First Amendment rights, whether it's for an anti-ICE protest or a pro-ICE protest. And the concern has shifted somewhat from this being people almost anti-law enforcement to maybe neighbor versus neighbor who have very different political views. And
they're chasing a car there now.
Yeah. And, you know, this is going to be something that hopefully we can respect each other's differences in opinion and let this all play out.
We're not sure we're going to hear from Governor Walz here in about 30 seconds, but we hope the message is calming. Here he comes.
Good afternoon. Today I'm joined by Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bob Jacobson, Colonel Schaefer of the Minnesota National Guard, and Colonel Bogojevic of the Minnesota State Patrol. This morning we learned that an ICE officer shot and killed someone in Minneapolis. My deepest condolences to the family, to the loved ones who had to learn about this tragic event on national television. We've been warning for weeks that the Trump administration's dangerous and sensationalized operations are a threat to our public safety, that someone was going to get hurt. Just yesterday, I said exactly that. What we're seeing is the consequences of governance designed to generate fear, headlines, and conflict.
This is amazing.
It's governing by reality TV. And today that recklessness cost someone their life. I've reached out to Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, and I'm waiting to hear back. Let me be clear, Donald Trump and his administration may not care much about Minnesota. That's been pretty evident, but we love this state. We won't let them tear us apart. We'll not turn against each other. To Minnesotans, I say this: I feel your anger. I'm angry. They want a show. We can't give it to them. We cannot. If you protest and express your First Amendment rights, please do so peacefully, as you always do. We can't give them what they want. The hearts and minds of the people in this state are on our side. To Americans, I ask you this: please stand with Minneapolis. To Minnesotans, know that our administration is going to stop at nothing to seek accountability and justice. The State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension are working on the investigation. We have activated the State Emergency Operations Center. State Patrol and Minnesota National Guard leadership is connected with the Minneapolis Police Department, the St. Paul Police Department, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, the DNR, and Minnesota's Homeland Security and Emergency Management. We have activated dozens of members of the State Patrol's mobile response team. And from here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough. There's nothing more important than Minnesotan safety. I've issued a warning order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard. We have soldiers in training and prepared to be deployed if necessary. I remind you, a warning order is a heads up for folks. And these National Guard troops are our National Guard troops. They're teachers in your community, they're business owners, they're construction professionals. They are Minnesotans. Minnesota will not allow our community to be used as a prop in a national political fight. We will not take the bait. We will continue to update you, Minnesota, as we get more information. Now I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Bob Jacobson of the Minnesota Department of Public Safety.
Thank you, Governor. As the Governor mentioned, my name is Bob Jacobson. It is my honor to serve as the Commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Public Safety. First of all, I want to acknowledge the reason that we are all here. The loss of life is not anything anyone would ever want. We fully expect that the community will want to peacefully demonstrate their anger or frustration.
Peacefully.
Minnesota residents and visitors have the right to peacefully demonstrate. We recognize that demonstrations are often driven by strong emotions, beliefs, and certainly a desire to be heard. Our role is to help ensure everyone can express themselves without anyone getting hurt. The Minnesota Department of Public Safety's role through the Minnesota State Patrol is to ensure safety, protect constitutional rights, keep roads accessible, and above all, to prevent harm. Our top priority is public safety. Our focus is keeping demonstrators, community members, drivers, and law enforcement safe, especially during moments of heightened tension or uncertainty. Demonstrations must remain safe and lawful, particularly around roadways. We will join with our partners to support safety while respecting the right to protest. With that in mind, I'd like to share a few safe and lawful ways to demonstrate.
What?
Minnesotans can safely and legally express their views in many ways, including getting together peacefully with others in public spaces, marching or walking, not on roadways, making your voice heard.
If you have to go through this, then I think
This is amazing.
I think you might have a problem down here, child.
Or permitted areas, and these actions will allow people to express themselves while protecting the safety of everyone involved. Unsafe or illegal actions could result in fines or arrests. Certain behaviors create serious hazards that threaten public safety, disrupt emergency services, or put people at risk. These actions could result in fines or arrest. Demonstrating on or entering a freeway on foot, walking on highways, throwing objects, starting or setting fires, damaging property or graffiti, using illegal fireworks, displaying or using illegal weapons, reckless or dangerous driving, especially near pedestrians, and certainly assaultive, aggressive, or riotous behavior toward anyone. We all want definitive answers to what happened today.
All right, y'all. I ain't got time for him. Over here on Minneapolis Fox 9, it says video shows fatal ICE shooting in Minneapolis. Hopefully it's a different view. Did somebody have the different view? Somebody got the front view and send it to me?
This now, the first time that we're really hearing some more details from law enforcement.
Yeah, we know that the call was made maybe about 10 o'clock this morning, so just about 3 hours or so ago. In that press conference, we did get some more information about this woman who was, we know, at this point shot and killed by ICE agents. We have learned that she is a 37-year-old white woman. She appeared to be in the vehicle alone, is what the police chief said, but the spouse has made it to the hospital. But we probably should take you back just a little bit about just some of the chain of events that have happened now that we have some of that information confirmed.
And interestingly, we really still haven't learned what the initial call was, why ICE was there in the first place, who they may have been looking for. But we know that while ICE agents were there, according to Mayor Fry, there were about a dozen or so plus agents there. And that, you know, we've seen there's some video out there. We're actually going to be showing it to you here shortly so you can see for yourself. But in the course of, you know, of them looking for somebody, people started to gather, crowd started to gather, more law enforcement shows up. And I'm not exactly sure at what point the incident happened with the woman in the vehicle, but we know that there was a woman in the vehicle. And according to again, you'll see the video for yourself and you can kind of watch. There are two narratives here, one from the Trump administration, which we'll read to you in a second, and then one we just heard from local law enforcement. Okay, and Ryan's telling me that we are actually ready to show the video. So before we layer too much context here, why don't we just let you watch this? But we're going to do this in a very sort of deliberate way. Let people know that this is video we're showing for the first time. You're not going to see it a lot on our air because we want to make sure that when we're showing it, we're doing it with a purpose. So there's no audio here as well, and you're going to see this sort of play out. So just a warning to those who may not want to see this.
Now you warn us.
You can see the vehicle there. That's law enforcement.
Wait, who was that other car that just ran around everything? Did you see that car that just ran around?
See the vehicle.
They probably the ones that were taught like me. Get the F on up out of here.
May not want to see this. You can see the vehicle That's law enforcement pulling up in the pickup.
And it is the Honda Pilot that we should be focused on here. It's about a purplish, reddish color here.
Okay, they just said that ICE is law enforcement. So in essence, you're blocking the road. You're blocking the road. Now that we see a little bit more, you're clearly blocking the road.
Pulling up in the pickup.
And it is the
Honda. Let me go back to where the person went around, because they said, that person said, I ain't got time for y'all.
So just a warning to those who may not want to see this. You can see the vehicle there. That's law enforcement pulling up in the pickup. And it is the statement from Kristi Noem, Department of Homeland Security, if I could as well. Do you want me to do that right now, Ryan, or do you want me to wait just a minute? Okay. Okay, so let's just kind of let's just watch this for a moment. Again, this is the aftermath.
Look like somebody out there arguing with law enforcement. Everything is a game till it's not.
Okay.
Watch that again. Did she have? Okay, here's the statement.
Just a short time ago, I believe we have that up if we want to take that. Today, ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations when rioters began blocking ICE officers, and one of these violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them, an act of domestic terrorism. An ICE officer, fearing for his life, the lives of his...
Now, I don't know about all that, Kristi, but I do agree that she definitely was interfering in some shit she didn't have no business interfering with.
Officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations when rioters began blocking ICE officers, and one of these violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them, an act of domestic terrorism. An ICE officer, fearing for his life, the lives of his fellow law enforcement, and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training and saved his own life and that of his fellow officers.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, that was quick. Kristi, listen, I don't disagree with the that she was interfering for sure. She definitely, in my opinion, was interfering. All the rest of that other stuff might be a bit much. But how do you? I'm just a little bit confused how anyone can see it any other way. I'm telling you what they're gonna say is it was a residential neighborhood. He didn't have to do that. It's not right. We already know what it's going to be, but no one is going to say, Kristi said weaponizing your vehicle. That's what she said. And I'm like, I don't know if she's weaponizing it, but I guess how you look at it, the man probably did fear for his life. She was going right at him. Like, child, you liberal white women, I tell you. Let me see. I'm trying to see what else is going on. We done already heard Jason curse. Let me go over here to I know we done already seen this man. Hold on a second. Ooh, Lord help your people. I had a Fox segment. I don't know where it went. Let's look at this. This is from The Hill. See what they got to say. This is from a Oh, it's titled "Protesters Engage Federal Agents After ICE Involved Minnesota Shooting." Of course they are, right? Let me first acknowledge RBN, a member for 32 months. Thank you so much. He said they constantly tell law enforcement not to stand in front of a car, but they do this ish so they can delete you. Okay, that's one point of view. EJ, thank you, Boo. He said, lesson, Karen learned should never follow ICE nowhere. Child, they need to sit the hell down. They put themselves in these situations and everyone's supposed to feel sorry for them. You know how people feel about white women, but child, liberal white women can go on somewhere, all right? Always in some business you ain't got no business being into. I'm assuming, I don't know about this woman again. I'm not saying, that she shouldn't be here, but I also will say, like I keep saying, don't put yourself in some dumbass situation like getting in front of law enforcement. Child. Dane C, appreciate you. He said, salute Michon. The super chat won't let me type my usual greeting. That's okay. We're doing a different type of show. I appreciate you, hun. RBN, thank you, hun. He said, I don't like those state-sponsored deleters. That's why I stay away from them. I don't go nowhere near law enforcement deleters if I can avoid it. The only time I deal with the oppressor is when I'm speeding, and I don't even want to talk to them then. But I'm working on slowing down. So, but other than that, I'm not getting in the midst of nothing. I'm going the opposite way as I was taught. Why am I going to get into business that ain't mine? And I'm not. RBN, thank you, Boo. He said, don't run up in their face, man or woman. This is not Trump's fault. I agree. People who are getting in front of you, ICE is there. I'm telling you, ICE is there. You see the sirens. When we see the lights and stuff, we're technically supposed to get out of the way. Is that yay or nay? I know we all live in different states, right? But I'm sure we all have the same state. When you see the lights and you hear the sounds, you're supposed to get out of the way. In our area, we have something called the I think they call the fire police. So when they come through with their lights are flashing, you got to get out of their way. It's the sign you got to get the fuck out of the way. It's an emergency, right? You're gonna get right in the way. They'll say she was scared. How do you know she was scared? She wasn't scared or she wouldn't have been in the midst of the situation. This is from what we got so far. If there's more, we're going to see if we can find it. Thank you for another 5. He said, Walt is back there crying and he was supposed to be our VP. Trump made a grown man cry. Technically, Nick Shirley made a grown man cry. Shout out to him. But again, at the end of the day, the question is, why are you out there with your car this way when the road goes this way? That's my question. If somebody answer that for me, and then maybe I can change my mind. But the odds are, yet again, how long I've been saying liberal white women are a problem? It's Minnesota. It wasn't a conservative woman, I tell you that. How the hell you face it this way when the road goes this way? That's all I'm saying. Let's hear what they got to say over here, child.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. Hey, get that guy with direct impact. Get back.
I thought it was supposed to be peaceful. Get back. Child, did you see what this, look what this, I don't know if that's ice or not, but look. Get back. Look, you think I'm going out there with a man that's doing shit like that? Are you crazy? Look at this. I'm scared. I'm going to tell you that right now. You think I'm going outside for that shit? Shit. No, I'm not.
Get back. I've been amazed. Get
Oh, I guess that's pellet. Don't matter. Don't do that to me either. Get out of the way. Move, bitch. Get out the way. What are y'all doing? Didn't Timmy say peaceful? What happened? What happened to peaceful?
Kill someone else.
Oh no, look like he black. It's about to be racism called there. Look, liberal white man, get in front of the truck. What is wrong with you people? Not y'all, you know what I'm saying. What the hell? What is wrong with people? Is this because of your Trump derangement syndrome as well? Are y'all that far gone? I don't know.
shoot you. You gonna kill somebody? Go home. You're native. You're native. It means your paycheck worth it, huh?
I thought liberals were peaceful, child. I thought liberals were peaceful people. Look at that hole in the back of that damn thing. But these people, but the oppressor, the law enforcement people are to remain calm at all times, and they're supposed to do things right at all times, and they're never supposed to be emotional, have any feelings, have any fear, worry about their own lives. They just supposed to be like, okay, whatever you say. Child, these people crazy. These people are crazy. They ain't scared. So don't revert back now. Nah, keep that same energy, child.
Out of our city! Get the out of our city! We don't want you here! Everyone hates you! We don't hate you! Our people! You're all going to die!
We lost her.
Lord help your people. Well, it looks like the mayor is back. Lord have mercy, child. I guess ain't no Stephen A. Smith today. So I can't tell if, I believe he came back out since Kristi Noem had something to say, because it says Minneapolis mayor disputes Fed's narrative of deadly ICE shooting, child.
There's a lot of information that is swirling around right now, and we collectively are going to do everything possible to get to the bottom of this, to get justice, and to make sure that there is an investigation that is conducted in full. But what we...
Well, why is he not speaking in, what is it, Somalia language? What is that called? Somalia? Where's the Somalia language, child? Speak it.
Do know is that a 37-year-old woman is dead and that she was shot by ICE. We've dreaded this moment since the early stages of this ICE presence in Minneapolis. Not only is this a concern that we've had internally, we've been talking about it. They are not here to cause safety in this city. What they are doing is not to provide safety in America. What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust. They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people. So
is that what we just witnessed a second ago when
This is amazing.
When they broke the window out and they're over there saying all those horrible things that they were saying? They're supposed to just sit there and be like, okay, it's okay, you don't know. Okay. My fave said, just my 2 cents. Give some Rodney King love. Listen, this is crazy.
they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed. As soon as it happened and we learned of the incident, we had several priorities. The first, of course, was to get the victim to the hospital and to get care as soon as possible. And to the family, I'm so deeply sorry. There's nothing that I can say right now that's going to make you or your relatives or the friends of the victim feel any better. There were, I believe, 2 Minneapolis police officers that responded and were in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. The second was to get ICE off of the scene. There were dozens, if not hundreds, of ICE and federal officers that were there at the time.
Amazing.
Having them there was only causing more chaos. Having them there was only making a difficult situation even more problematic, and one that, yes.
So the officers are the problem, and no problem with all of the people that we just saw when y'all just had to lay down the law and the rules on how to protest. So that didn't seem like that's what they was doing based on what we just saw. But what is his name? Jason? But Jason ain't got shit to say about none of that. But he's so peaceful and non-political. He's just as bad. He the same. These MFers try to act like they are so much better than the other side, we shall call it, and they are the effing same. You just trying to act like you're nice, but you're not. You say what you say, then you do what you do. You're not even acknowledging that, because child, if I didn't seen it, he got to know about it. They do know. That's why that dude was sitting up there talking about this is how you protest, this is how you protest. Child, Minneapolis been protesting. They know how the hell to do it, and they doing it the way they do it. And so as soon as you see them just a second ago busting out that window, what did you guys say about that, Frey, whatever his name is, Mayor? What do you got to say about those people surrounding that daggone vehicle? If they was driving away, let them drive away. You don't want them there? Sometimes people don't want the oppressor there. Should the oppressor leave? You can't win for losing, y'all. You can't win for losing, but no mention. I just want one question answered. Why are you sideways when the roadway goes this way? That's it. That's it. Shout out to Wayne Lundy, a member for 37 months. I appreciate you, boo. He said 2026 is going to be our year. Peace and love to the host in the chat. One day at a time. I'm going to be here when you get your 100,000K. Thank you so much, boo. I appreciate you. Yes, 2026. What's the date of today? The 7th of the month. Never a dull moment, y'all. Never a dull moment. This is not even an election year. Never a dull moment. Kevin, thank you, boo. He said Tom Homan warned them for months and did. He said ICE would need to go into the community if they can't get the target in jail. He absolutely did warn them all. We didn't see it. We didn't watch it. We didn't heard it. Nope. Everybody forgot all that because it's a liberal. Everybody's now supposed to be like, oh my God, they don't do any violence. Please give me a break. Please give me a break.
They created themselves. There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis.
Okay.
We do not want you here.
All right, we didn't heard this already. So there's another view on Twitter. I call it Twitter. All right. So somebody was recording in their home, it looks like. Hold on. There's a little bit of sound. Hold on a second. You know, StreamYard be StreamYard and chat. All right. Can I slow motion on Twitter? Oh yeah, you can. Okay, let me back it on up. You can hear the same person saying no. Oh, hold on. Look at. Hold on. So if you're looking on the right hand side where his body is, where that oppressor's body is, it looks like he's a little bit being moved out of the way by the car. To me, that's what it looks like. Look at it. They're going to be wrong no matter what, though. They're going to be wrong no matter what. Because I think it was RBN that says they always get in front of the car. They might get in front of the car so that hopefully you should know that you shouldn't keep going. I would think. Now, I wouldn't do it. But maybe that's a tactic that they use to say, if I'm in front of the car, you know this is serious and you don't go forward. So if you do go forward, then that means that I will have to do something, but you see me. Do you not see me? It looks like his body moves. Let's look at it again. Right-hand side. On the right-hand side. Now, is this racism? You know, it's always the oppressor is always taking out black people every day. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't give a damn about none of that. Sounds like he probably gave a damn about his damn life, which is probably the case enough of the time. I ain't say all the time. I said enough of the time. So are people really sitting here saying that this woman was doing the right thing? So y'all gonna sit up here and really say that woman was doing the right thing, especially given all the crap that we're seeing with regard to, well, we know how Minneapolis is. Look at
this is amazing.
Look at Tim Tom. Look at Tim Tom out here giving y'all 20 weeks to do nothing, and the taxpayers have to pay for it. Oh, people move to Minnesota. Child, lazy people move to Minnesota. Who moved to Minnesota because of Tim Tom? I want to know. If you here, let us know, child. Wombat in the building. I appreciate you, hun. He said, I'm tired of seeing this. A lot of these goofs are alleged paid agitators. Follow the money, make some arrests, and start making an example of these dummies. Why the heck are ICE agents even allowing them to get that close? That's a great point. Getting that close is is the part that I'm talking about specifically. Because they can't win for losing, in my opinion. There's no winning or losing at the end of the day. It's the oppressor is always supposed to be right regardless. Thank you so much, hon. I appreciate you. Please make sure you hit the like button for me, y'all. Hit the dislike button, whatever. I appreciate y'all hanging out wherever you are. Subscribe if you are new. We look at this one more time and then I'll see what else is going on. Almost. Oh, Wombat, do you mean the paid agitator is like this lady in the crossway? Is that what you mean?
This is amazing.
Lord help your people. All right. Let's go over here.
And that's what this has to be. So the rancor and the political stuff aside, let's just get to the facts of the case, which is going to take a while. It's going to go in the coming hours and into tomorrow and probably the whole week.
Yeah, certainly something that is going to play out over some time. Bob Boyes, hey, thank you so much.
Thanks.
And we've got much more on this after the break.
All right.
I'd never seen that many skeletal remains. Thousands. It's a serial killer kid.
I don't want to hear all that. I don't even know what that's about. Shout out to the real Dana doing the damn thing. Oh, Rolly is about to talk, y'all. Rolly is about to talk.
Here until the vehicle backs up, and then he appears. So it looks like he was already there. He didn't appear to come out of the gray pickup truck, which is the ICE pickup truck to the left. You can see there that has flashing blue and red lights in the grill. So maybe he was in another vehicle or he was on the sidewalk. So yes, this is a different situation than a traffic stop. Julia's right. You never want to put yourself in front of a vehicle if you think there's going to be some danger. The other side is maybe they didn't realize there was danger there. They were just going to ask the person to move or back up, or we're law enforcement officers, you can't go this way, or please back over here. You know, not every situation immediately is fraught with danger, and you have to deal with people. So that could be what happened here. I don't think we can assume from some of the statements of politicians that, you know, this was terrorism or she was evil or she was trying to run over the ICE officer.
Agree.
The video doesn't show all these things. What the video shows is a truck going toward the ICE officer. Even if she's trying to escape, he still can save himself, regardless of her motive. It doesn't have to be terrorism for him to fire. It doesn't have to be anything other than, I don't want to be run over by a vehicle, and I'm in a position where it could happen to me.
But can I stop you there, Jim, though?
Even if she was trying to leave.
But I mean, I guess
even if she was trying to leave.
I'm not a member of law enforcement. I haven't been trained in this regard. But if your biggest concern in a situation like this, where you're standing in front of a vehicle and the vehicle is starting to move, wouldn't your first inclination, just as a human being responding, would be just to get out of the way? Well, I guess I'm questioning the decision to pull the service weapon and fire as opposed to just jumping out of the way. Could that be a question of how this process was handled?
Well, I think it's going to be a question for the case, and I think it's a legitimate question. And people will argue, well, he could have jumped out of the way. Now, you will see that agent's feet slip on the icy road. So he's in a dicey situation. Not only does the wheel spin on the front of that SUV, and remember, the first thing that happens that we see is the vehicle starts to back up. It doesn't start to go forward. It starts to back up. And then it's put in.
He's out here. And he was out there today on the scene doing photo ops in the middle of the crime scene. I was like, oh, wow.
ICE protest, y'all. ICE protest. Reaper said, thank you for being a member for 16 months. Boo. He said 16 messy. Y'all hit the like button. What's 16? What's 16? 16 people? I don't know what that means, but thank you, Boo. I appreciate you. Shout out
This
to
is amazing.
Jay. He said, die doing what she loved, protesting and goodbye, child. Goodbye. Y'all, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you already. 60 months. Thank you, Boo. Thank you. I appreciate you. Shout out to all the channel members. Shout out to everyone that is here. Please make sure, again, you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. So they're protesting. Okay, they're protesting. So this is the peaceful protest that that dude gave the information on.
Reintegrate, snap out of it, reintegrate into society, and then naturally you'll be fine. But don't choose drugs or alcohol. That'll make it worse. We are now at Nicolás Mall, you guys.
Here's some witnesses to the shooting, if you want to hear what they have to say.
I saw that it was not just like MPD, but ICE. And
we saw an ambulance leave. We're assuming that, like, right as we went in and came back out, and a bunch of people were joining, blowing whistles and accosting them. And you could hear the whistles all through the neighborhood. So we went and we stood there for a while. Then we realized that it seemed like things were happening down here, and we didn't know what exactly had happened. So once we started moving, we went down 2 blocks, and that's where the closest you could get from this side to where the car was crashed. We saw the wreck of the car.
Yeah. What would you say the feeling in the air is right now?
It's bad. I don't know how to put it into an emotion. It's anguish, maybe. And we saw the cops, and he was like, they're ICE agents.
Yeah, because so 32nd and Portland was like basically all blocked off with cop cars, and you know, I saw that it was not just like MPD but ICE, and
we saw an ambulance leave. We're assuming that like right as we went in and came back out, and a bunch of people were joining, you know, blowing whistles and accosting them, and we could hear the whistles all through the neighborhood. So we went and we stood there for a while. Then we realized that it seemed like things were happening down here, and we didn't know what exactly had happened. So once we started moving, we went down 2 blocks, and that's where the closest you could get from this side to.
I guess it did turn into White People Wednesday, because, child, this is all white people. Minneapolis ICE shooting leaves woman dead. Protesters are in the street. They're actually asking them to come out. There's like, I just saw where on Twitter where they're like, you need to get out there now. Get out in the streets now. What? All right, whatever y'all say. It's crazy to me. What the hell do I know? This is an old view of when they came out into the streets too. God, these people, I don't get it. Yeah, I understand that you're right to protest and all that type of stuff, but I just feel like you got to assess things a little bit better than this. I don't think that there's a reason to be going down there, especially if ICE is so bad. What are you going down there for? What do you want to go down there for? You want to go down there to do what? Make it worse? I mean, BCP already got a damn video out, y'all. Let's watch and see what he has to say, child. He don't waste no time.
Because of the chaos that is being caused by these ICE agents, that somebody is going to get seriously injured or killed. Somebody is going to get seriously injured or killed. And whether that is an ICE agent or a community member, we all know the tinderbox that could explode because of it. We all know that the federal government is looking for reasons to deploy more and more people to Minneapolis and blue cities around the country. We all know that we cannot afford to lose a single Minneapolis resident because they showed up and decided to protect their neighbors, because they showed up and decided to express their constitutional right to free speech. And so that concern is deep. It is held, by the way, not just by me and our residents and the people who are standing up behind me. The concern about getting somebody killed is also held by our police officers.
A few moments later. Well, we got confirmation now through DHS that this was a vehicle ramming situation. They say, in fact, while ICE officers and federal agents were conducting targeted operations, they had the usual scene with the crowds descending on them. And someone, they say, DHS says, weaponized her vehicle. The ICE officer, fearing for his life and the lives of other agents, discharged his weapon and shot that individual, a woman who now, according to DHS, is in fact deceased. Now, I've got some of the statement from DHS saying that this is a direct consequence of constant attacks and demonization of our officers by sanctuary politicians who fuel and encourage rampant assaults.
Wait. So we got to talk about what appears to be a darn award that was given to a woman that's decided.
Not an award. B Strizzle, thank you so much, honey. He said they asked here in Columbus on Saturday after the Venezuela thing. It was a small group, no coverage. They normally use Reddit. Oh, they were there in South Carolina? Okay. All right. I guess everything went okay then, I guess. I don't know. No, we be looking and seeing what's going on. We ain't heard nothing. But we hearing about this. Crazy.
Thought it'd be a good idea to attempt to run over ICE agents while they're conducting operations in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Okay, we know that Minneapolis has been in the spotlight because of the fraud scandal that has happened in that city. In the state of Minnesota, you have Governor Tim Walz deciding that he's not going to run for re-election anymore. This situation is getting bad, right? And you have people who've been gaslit, okay, by Democrats.
Maybe they need some better leadership there. This place is falling apart. I know. It's all Donald Trump's fault. But it seems like it's been in disarray and decay, and it's just getting worse and worse. But again, it's always Donald Trump's fault.
by liberals, and that is why they're out in the streets protesting ICE. And again, this woman seems to have won a darn award, okay, because she ended up getting shot and killed by ICE agents, as it seems as if she attempted to run them over. So I want to go ahead and actually play some clips of what happened, right, or alleged clips of what happened. And then I'm going to play video of a witness describing what happened. And then we're going to get into the mainstream media coverage and the liberal meltdown over this situation. So without further ado, roll the clip.
Get the fuck out of our neighborhood.
What the fuck? Dude, what the fuck? Dude, you get a murder for what?
The horns and the whistles, and I'd heard horns pass through before as people follow ICE vehicles through the city, but they stayed, they kept going, and so I figured whatever was happening right outside. So I started watching through the window. There was a red Honda Pilot, maroon, but there were two people in fatigues, ICE agents, presumably. One was by the passenger side of the vehicle, one was by the driver's side of the vehicle. There was a handful of black and white SUVs, license plates on some of them, front license plates removed, parked sort of kittywampus in the street. And I watched as a third person in full camo come and pull several times on the door handle, at which point the red vehicle reversed a few feet and started driving around. And the person who was by the driver's side originally, not the man who pulled on the door, but who was originally there, shot through the driver's side window 3 times, and the car drove down the street a little bit more and then swerved into a car and then ultimately a telephone pole.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Now, from what I see in the video, right, and again, we're getting more details about what actually happened here. It looks like the woman was in the middle of the road and she tried to back up and then she took off like very fast, right? And at that,
he went a little bit fast. The point is that she was in the middle of the road blocking law enforcement. That's what she was doing, because if she wasn't in the middle of the road, they could have kept going, right? You seen them lights flashing? They could have kept going. Remember, listen, in most states, you see flashing lights, you should get out of the way. Now, maybe in y'all state it works. In Minnesota, maybe it works differently, child. But in Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, you got to get out of the way.
Point, ICE agents were in the vicinity, right, by the vehicle. It looked like an agent was in front of the vehicle. That's what I saw. So it looked like an agent was in front of the vehicle. She took off. He had to move out of the way. So I think he had a reasonable belief that he was being run over, right, or that she was trying to run over him, and she got shot. She wasn't complying. The ICE agent told her to get out of the vehicle. She didn't do it, and she decided to take off. And hey, it's just one of those things that she wasn't in that situation, she would have got shot. She put herself in that situation. But of course, liberals and Democrats are claiming that, oh no, she wasn't being run over, she was completely, totally innocent. Doesn't seem like that's the case, right? If anything, it seems like she won a darn award for basically being an agent of chaos. So let's actually listen to CNN tell us DHS's side of the story here.
DHS has confirmed that an individual has died. The alleged perpetrator was hit and is deceased. ICE officers who were hurt are expected to make full recoveries. Can you fill in the blanks, Priscilla?
Yeah, Dana, let's set the scene here. So in Minneapolis right now, the Department of Homeland Security has surged thousands of agents. There are around 2,000 agents that have been deployed to the state of Minnesota, and there have been ongoing operations, especially in Minneapolis. So that is what has been ongoing in that city and in that area. And this morning, the Department of Homeland Security says that they were conducting what they call these targeted operations. That is to say that they went out to a location, they had a target in mind. Over the course of that operation, according to their statement, ICE officers and one of these violent rioters they're calling weaponized their vehicle. This is according to their statement. And they also go on to say, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers. And they call this an act of domestic terrorism. And they say that is what prompted an ICE officer, who they said was fearing for their life, to fire these offensive shots. And this alleged perpetrator was hit and is deceased. This is according to the Department of Homeland Security. I have asked the Department of Homeland Security if this was a U.S. citizen, because we do not know the status of this individual who was in this vehicle. Now, of course, we have seen in multiple cities that the actions of ICE as they carry out their operations has prompted protesters and rioters at some of these operations. But generally, I will say, Dana, in talking to my sources sources over the course of the morning, there are a lot of questions here about these defensive shots that the Department of Homeland Security is talking about, because generally the policy for ICE officers to use to shoot would be if the subject poses, quote, an imminent threat of serious injury and or death. So there are a lot of questions here as to what prompted that defensive shot outside of the use of the vehicle. And it is these types of questions.
I mean, again, this reporting is
well, no, before he even says anything, the law enforcement is always supposed to allow everybody else to do whatever they want to them. Then when something happens to them, because, you know, they're racist, they're oppressing everybody, because you know, that won't necessarily be the story this time because the woman is white. Maybe it will be sexism or something. It can't be the fact that there's a whole ass car in the middle of the road blocking the road. Again, until somebody can help me understand why this car is sideways, y'all can miss me with all the rest of that bullshit that you're trying to say. She shouldn't have been there. You think that there's nothing better that some liberal white woman should have been doing than down here messing around with fucking ICE agents? So if they're so terrible and they're here to do all these horrible things, why the fuck are you down there? Why are you going down there? Oh, I want to do my constitutional duty. Well, constitutionally, you did your duty. And I'm just asking, was it worth it? I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe it is worth dying. Not for me. Not for me, but to each his fucking own. To each his own. I don't get it. Especially when it's a bunch of women getting in the space in a place not only where it's fucking dangerous, but there's damn men there, and you allegedly are saying that they are here to harm you. So going down there, right? That's what makes sense. That's what makes sense. So that you can have a story like this, so you can say Donald Trump did it. It's all Donald Trump's fault. She's absolved, right? Completely. And all these people out here smashing that truck, surrounding that truck, pushing people around, all the stuff they doing, that's all okay. All that's okay, right? Because it's liberal people. Do you see how bad this shit is? People got to be able to accept the fact that people made a dumbass decision, okay? That car did go on around there. But like I said, I don't know about y'all states, but in these states over here on the East damn coast, you see them damn lights, you got to get the fuck out of the way. Your car ain't supposed to be sideways. That's the first fucking problem. You don't see then these big ass men who you knew where they were. Don't give me no shit. She knew who the hell they were. They get out of the car. I'm going to see these motherfuckers. I'm going to be like this. What the fuck? You decide to accelerate? Y'all, please miss me with being, if you stupid, please leave. If you are stupid with a capital STUPID, please leave. Because y'all, we ain't got time with people who don't make no sense and don't ask no questions just because you're sitting up here all riled up because it's fucking ICE agents who were sent by damn Donald Trump, which they knew they were coming. So you support Mayor Frey, who today is talking English. Yesterday his ass was talking Somalian or whatever the fuck the language is and dancing with him and around him and all that other bullshit. But today now, we sitting up here like, oh my God, we're not going to take this, absolving that daggone woman, even though I think Kristi Noem was a bit hyperbolic with what she was saying. But with just looking at what this is right now, fuck was she there for? Is she an oppressor? Was this woman an oppressor? Was she down there getting somebody to help them out? That's what she was doing. Was she clearing the way so that they could get through? Maybe I missed that part. Because if that's what it is, then child, I say I'm wrong. The difference between me and most of y'all, well, some of y'all, not most of y'all can't admit that you're wrong. You can't even be fair about a situation. You can't even take a second and just be like, child, no, that don't make no sense. No, you straight, it's Donald Trump's fucking fault. Child, please take your Trump derangement syndrome on some fucking where, because I am over dumbass motherfuckers that don't even want to look at things properly and fairly. You going along with they fucking plan on both sides. They want people to be riled up on this side. They want people to be riled up on this side. And you motherfuckers trying to sit up here and talk about you peaceful. Don't nothing be looking peaceful. Child, let me also tell all the black people, stay out of this. Stay out of this. We ain't got shit to do with this shit either, okay? Let the chips fall where they may. Carry that shit on down there to Minneapolis. That one dude that got I don't know what that is. The shit that turned orange in his face. He got that shit done to him. He should. Get out of their face. All these people always talking about how the oppressor is this, the oppressor is that. Y'all stay in their fucking face. I don't. Fuck them. If I happen to be speeding, that's the only time. Y'all want to stay in their face. Y'all swear you are like, I don't even know. What is it? Like you're a human? Are you Superman or something? Are y'all Batman, Wonder Woman? Like who do y'all think you are? You are not a superhero. B. Strizzle, thank you, boo. He said, sorry, I'm in Columbus, Ohio. All good, hon. I appreciate you. Jay, he said, that cop turned that WT-1100 Skynet chip off. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's something smart ass. Shout out to y'all. Hit the like button for me. Let's hear what BCP has to say.
Crazy to me. The vehicle in and of itself is a deadly weapon, right? So as we saw in the video, the woman took off very fast.
No, the weapon is not, the car is not a deadly weapon, just like they said in that Takaya situation where she did the same thing. It's like, y'all really are really, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Just fucking get out of the fucking car. Act like you're fucking normal.
Is a deadly weapon, right? So as we saw in the video, the woman took off very fast, okay? And what appeared to be her trying to, at the very least, right, get away. Who knows if she was actually trying to run over agents? Doesn't matter because they were surrounding the vehicle. So they were surrounding the vehicle. She tried to take off. They perceived that it was a threat at that point. And, you know, just based off the video, it looked like a reasonable perception, right? They reasonably believed that they were about to be run over and that she was a threat, that she was using her vehicle in order to run them over. Whether that was her intention or not, we really don't know. Regardless, that's what they perceived. And she ended up winning a Darwin Award, right? And you got a lot of these protesters following ICE around. They are harassing ICE, and this is
exactly. What's a Darwin Award, though? I don't understand what that is. People keep saying that.
Whether that was her intention or not, we really don't know. Regardless, that's what they perceived, and she ended up winning a Darwin Award, right? And you got a lot of these protesters following ICE around. They are harassing ICE, and this is happening because of Democrat rhetoric, right? Saying they're Gestapo, that they're evil, that they're terrorists. You know, that type of rhetoric is what is gaslighting people into doing stuff like this. And hey, you know, it is what it is, to be honest with you.
Questions that would prompt also an internal investigation at the Department of Homeland Security, typically to try to get the answers as to what exactly unfolded here for there to be a fatal incident that includes immigration and customs enforcement. And again, it is immigration and customs enforcement that was involved here, according to DHS. Recall that there are multiple agencies that are on the ground doing these immigration enforcement operations, and even photos of the scene showed, at least after the fact, that it was both ICE on the ground as well as local police department and U.S. Border Patrol, which has similarly been deployed to Minneapolis to continue the operation. So we are still trying to seek more answers here, Diana, but at the—
Yeah, so obviously, Democrats are not happy about this. The mayor, Jacob Frey.
Of course not. Be quiet. Thank you, boo. He said, Michon, she clipped his leg with the car. We just watched it in slow motion. That's what I said. You can see him limping after he popped her. I didn't even see that part, but you can see him jumping out of the way. But you're just supposed to let anybody do whatever the hell it is that they want to. And this person here with all this mouth to say and still saying here, so I'm talking dumbass shit. So I'm not thinking for myself. All this mess that you saying in the chat, you still hear, but I'm the problem? Okay. Well, like I said, you can take your Trump derangement syndrome self on somewhere, but I see you still here, motherfucker. So how about that? I bet you still stay here too, because you ain't got nothing else better to do. Shout your ass on to Minneapolis and get on out there with the rest of them. I bet you won't.
Is melting down over this. Liberals are also melting down over this as well.
Okay.
Whirling around right now, and we collectively are going to do everything possible to get to the bottom of this, to get justice, and to make sure that there is an investigation that is conducted in full. But what we do know is that a 37-year-old woman is dead and that she was shot by ICE. We've dreaded this moment since the early stages of this ICE presence in Minneapolis. Not only is this a concern that we've had internally, we've been talking about it. They are not here to cause safety in this city. What they are doing is not to provide safety in America. What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust. They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people. So they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed. As soon as it happened and we learned of the incident, we had several priorities.
A legal observer, protester, bystander, what do you know that you can share?
So the question was, what can I share about the deceased?
There is nothing to indicate that this woman,
Child, is this a real sign languager? Because she looking crazy.
Was the target of any law enforcement investigation or activity. This woman was in her car, and it appears then blocking the street because of the presence of federal law enforcement, which is obviously something that has been happening not just in Minneapolis, but around the country. She appears to be a middle-aged white woman.
Chief, just about better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave.
From what I just heard, she was shot and killed in her car. This is exactly what we knew was coming at some point, and I am so fucking enraged that it's happening in my home state. And this is
These people are happy. I don't care what nobody say. They were just like, see, they wait for stuff like this so they can see, I try to tell ya, see, I try to tell ya, but don't see that people be in the space and place in front of some shit that they had no business being there for. Forget all that. And thank you for letting me know what Darwin Award is.
second day of the Gestapo blitz, sending 2,000 federal ICE agents into the cities and communities of Minnesota. Kristi Noem is out there in St. Paul making Hunger Games fucking propaganda for her Twitter account, while her stormtroopers are currently murdering people just over the river. These agents must be immediately arrested and held accountable, and the rest of them must fucking leave right now, because we cannot maintain a peaceful resistance against a violent invading force who is literally murdering citizens in the street. Now, I don't know what the circumstances
are. He really just said peaceful. After everything we've watched thus far, peaceful? Okay, child.
But I know it does not justify shooting civilians.
Who's reporting on what is happening on the ground there in Minneapolis is confirming that today ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations when rioters, he say, began blocking ICE officers, and one of these violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them. An act of domestic terrorism. And ICE officers.
All right, girl, calm down. I don't think that that's what was going on. However, she definitely was moving forward, and she shouldn't have been. Was she doing it on purpose? I don't know about all that. But I guess you liberals think that he should have just allowed her to run him over and then ask questions later, right? The law enforcement. Okay. RBN, thank you, Boo. He said, remember at Mandela's home they had an animated ESO man, and turned out he didn't know, saying, yeah, this lady might be finessing us. Child, she looking crazy. She was making more faces than anything else. Let me rewind that a little bit, child. Come on, is this Fox?
Does not justify shooting civilians.
Who's reporting on what is happening on the ground there in Minneapolis is confirming that today ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations when rioters, he say, began blocking ICE officers, and one of these violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them. An act of domestic terrorism. An ICE officer fearing for his life, the lives of his fellow law enforcement, and the safety of the public.
Child, we're going to call this domestic terrorism that quick, but child, when the mass SHOOTs happen, child, don't even matter. When the mass shootings happen, y'all don't call that domestic terrorism, child. They ain't no better. Child, Fox ain't no better, child.
Defensive shots as a response. The alleged perpetrator was hit and is deceased. Thankfully, the ICE officers who were hurt are expected to make full recoveries, and we do pray for them.
Now, according to witnesses, this is what happened. According to a video from the scene, a man heard gunshots and ran outside. The wife of the victim, who was in the car, is sitting on the ground nearby with a dog, visibly in distress. In the video, she is heard saying they had stopped to film. She yelled something, and then moments later, the agents fatally shot the woman. What happened next is even more alarming. A man identified himself as a physician, attempted to approach the scene to provide medical assistance. He repeatedly tells agents that someone medically trained needs to intervene, that the victim is bleeding, and that a doctor is required to assess or pronounce death. Instead of allowing aid, agents point guns at him, threatening him, and force him to back away, leaving the woman shot inside the car without assistance. Eventually, medics arrive and remove the woman from the vehicle. Wow. This is Trump's America, ladies and gentlemen. We are attacking one another in the name of what? Doing what exactly?
There you go.
What exactly is Donald Trump trying to prove in Minneapolis by sending unqualified, untrained, hate-filled people there to terrorize American citizens?
There you go.
Wow. A woman has lost her life at the hands of Donald Trump. Between this and the Epstein files, what a huge disgrace this is.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. These people will find a way to throw Epstein in everything, right? It doesn't matter what it is. Somehow, some way, Epstein's going to come up. So anyway. Always. If it ain't Epstein, it's going to be Trump's name, no matter what. No matter what. And it's always Donald Trump's fault, no matter what. Just absolve everybody else, right, y'all? Now, y'all already know.
Because Trump bad. Trump bad.
Again!
Because Trump bad.
Trump bad.
Going, you're being a racist. Racist.
Help your people.
What do we have here? Again, we have a Darwin Award. That's it, right? I mean, this individual appeared to be a woke liberal white woman, and we've seen liberal white women. We've seen them. They're always involved, sticking their nose and stuff.
Oh shit! He talking about the liberal white women. Shut out to be. I didn't have my headset on. I didn't even realize that, child. Probably more of a problem than anything else is liberal white women. But anyway, come on, child. I agree.
I mean, let's be real. Ain't none of their business. And apparently in this situation, this woman may have been sticking her nose in something that was not her business. And, you know, she ended up winning a Darwin Award. Hey, you know, it's one of those things where it's a sad situation, but it's really on the Democrats, right? If anybody wants to point the fingers and blame somebody, blame Democrats, blame liberals, blame the rhetoric around ISIS, Gestapo, that they are kidnapping people off the street, American citizens off the street.
No, I don't blame liberals. I blame people who seem to not have the sense that God gave them, going and putting themselves in a situation that that was a dangerous situation to begin with. And all of a sudden, everybody's supposed to be like empathy and sympathy. Child, we don't do empathy and sympathy easily over here. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. There's no reason that any woman should be putting herself in that type of situation. Yes, we traditionally genders type of people around here too. That's not where you're supposed to be. But you see, there's a lot of them out there, right? Orange hair, red hair, no hair, bald head, nose rings. Look like they just woke up from the damn swamp. Like all kinds of crap. But somebody's supposed to be following y'all? Those that do, gone. It will not be me. It will never be me.
All of this anti-ICE rhetoric is radicalizing people to participate in these types of...
Hold on. Look.
Cowards.
That's what I'm talking about.
Think of the lies they'll be telling.
Yeah, it's not a woman, but child, this who y'all listening to? This who y'all listening to?
To avoid consequences when we, the people, have had our fucking uprising. I am tired of fighting for my neighbors.
Well, at least it's peaceful, child.
Does anybody want to come peacefully and talk? Does anybody have a word in a hurry? Anybody knows the victim? Anybody knows the victim? That's to show their gratitude and her love. Because she was a beautiful woman. She loved everybody.
You know, when I was a kid and I was attending school, they told us about, you know, Nazi Germany and fascist Italy and dictatorships like that. And I always questioned when I was a kid, how did the people of these countries allow this to happen? Why didn't they rise up and fight? But seeing as what I've seen in this country, I realize that it's easier than you think. You blink and your freedoms are gone unless we stand up here and fight to protect them. We have to stand together in unity and show these people that we will not be silent.
Child, another one. That's who y'all be listening to? Child, that's who y'all be listening to?
With gratitude, peacefully, so everybody can understand what's going on.
If we're gonna march, y'all gotta let people keep up. Yeah. We lost so many people because the front was moving too fast.
True.
That's how we stick together. That's all.
I got an idea. This is great. I don't have to do anything. I don't know. I say we line up right across these and block these doors.
You're listening to Timu Atlantis Morissette. This who y'all listening to. These are y'all's people.
Try and move us. Let's block them in.
You know what? She's a lawyer, so is that all right? Is that all right?
I refuse to provide legal advice.
Oh, okay, it's okay. That's okay. That's all right, because we're not
But I
doing
will
nothing
say, misdemeanor bail, $78 exactly is the minimum bail. Make sure you have some cash on you. When
I got
you
some
are
cash
out.
for everybody.
Make sure that you get yourselves out.
For real. Yeah. Right or not. It's so let's organize and let's lock these doors up so they can lose business and deal with this atrocity that happened.
Let's lock these doors up so they can lose business. What the hell these businesses got to do with what happened over there in the residential area? So y'all think that that's what makes sense to be doing? I cannot.
That's what they said. I'll actually let you just hear from one of the witnesses about just kind of what he saw leading up to the gunfire here.
And I watched as a third person in full camo come and pull several times on the door handle, at which point
yeah, we tired of listening to him. All right, let's see what they doing. Let's go back here. Oh, they lining up, y'all. They lining up. They needed to gather to line up.
Look at the trade. Okay, so right now they're standing in front of the courthouse. It fell apart because the march was moving so fast. They were hung. The march is going so fast.
This is an interesting bunch of people, child. These are your leaders. These are y'all's leaders. This is who y'all be following. What the fuck? I cannot. Romello, thank you so much. He said she looks like that woman that chooses the bear over a man. Oh, they definitely choosing bears over men. We can't even tell who is who. I can't. Let me speak for myself. I can't.
So we're live in downtown Minneapolis at the courthouse.
Ice out now! 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 What are we doing?
There were hundreds. You guys saw the protests.
People in a second. It looks like Trump had something to say, child. Lord, and Kristi Noem is having a news conference at 6 p.m. EST. Hold on. Child, I can't do this. This is crazy. These are y'all's people. This who y'all listen to. So this is what CBS is going to play with, I guess.
On several years worth of allegations and charges against people for alleged fraud in misusing state funds or federal funding that helped.
Child, we know all about that. Are y'all just gonna play this over and over again? Come on, child.
Opposition and concern and certainly understandable upsetness about what happened there is for.
So Walt said that they don't need any further help from the government. We heard him say that earlier at his press conference. They should leave them be. Shout out to Nick Taylor. Thank you, Boo. He said, you know what would happen to these libs talking sock puppets if they've done this in one of the socialist countries that they clamor for the U.S. to be. They wouldn't do it there. You already know we're talking about all this freedom that everybody have and don't even recognize it. Sitting up here trying to act like they're so fucking oppressed. Please.
Foreshadowing what could occur should the response in the coming hours become more violent. And it's telling. I don't know if Nicole Skanga has shared this bit here on 24/7, but she pointed out a little while ago that where this shooting occurred is only about a mile from where George Floyd was killed back in 2020. So it's an entire neighborhood inside a...
Child, what that got to do? Child, what that got to do with anything? What the hell does that have to do with anything? These people be trying to play on y'all's emotions. These news reporters and everything. What? I don't give a damn. What's that got to do with anything? They're going to bring up any old thing. They're going to bring up any old damn thing so y'all can be like, oh, poor Minneapolis or Minnesota, child. Poor Minnesota. Oh, my God. There's so much violence here, but crime is down, y'all.
City inside a region and a state that's been reeling for several years because of law enforcement related activity, because of the focus of this White House on Minnesota, given its Democratic control. And so the emotions there in that neighborhood and in that city, obviously quite raw. And we'll see how the White House and the federal government responds to it in the coming hours.
And she does point out that there has been a major surge in Minnesota, an influx of 1,500 agents, ICE enforcement and removal operation agents, 650 Homeland Security investigations agents, a 15-fold increase in the usual ICE presence in the region. Ed, I'm curious, based on your knowledge of typical cabinet communication with local and state authorities after something like this, is it unusual that Governor Walz has not gotten a call back yet from DHS Secretary Noem?
Not necessarily in the Trump administration, no. But not knowing her exact whereabouts, it could be that she is traveling or otherwise engaged. She was, remember, she met with and was interviewed by Nicole Skanga in Minneapolis on Monday or on Tuesday. Today's Wednesday, and she's on the U.S.-Mexico border in South Texas. She was reviewing operations there, given that Homeland Security has vast array of responsibilities across the country on all sorts of matters. So we'll see if she makes contact with him at some point or if some other senior federal official does.
All right, y'all, you get on my nerves. Let's see what they're doing over here. They still lining up, y'all. Just want to make sure that you see that they getting shit together. Okay, they getting shit together. But let me see what they're saying over here at CNN, y'all. Oh, hold on a second. This stupid ass freaking oh my God. StreamYard.
Moment a woman was shot by a federal officer in Minnesota. She was in a vehicle, she was 37 years old. We're about to show you that video and warning you it may be hard to watch. Exactly what the US Department of Homeland Security said about this. An ICE officer, fearing for his life, the lives of his fellow law enforcement and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots.
Child, now I'm a cult member, child. Just add that to the list of all the other names. Okay, I'm a cult member. Who's in the cult, y'all? Raise your hand if you're in the cult.
He used his training and saved his own life and that of his fellow officers. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey isn't buying it. He had this blunt message for federal agents.
They are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is this was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed. There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE.
Shout out to y'all.
Get the out of Minneapolis.
That was the mayor, Mr. Frey. The governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, is due to speak this hour. We'll bring you that live as soon as it happens. First, Chief Law Enforcement and Intelligence Analyst John.
That was Bernie Sanders.
John, that video, we've just had it all verified and everything. It's very hard to watch. How does it match to what we're hearing from the Department of Homeland Security?
Well, the Department of Homeland Security, and so far the key statements have been made by the Secretary of Homeland Security herself on a visit to the southern border when she was asked about this, that this was an assault on federal officers, that this officer acted to save his life and the lives of those around
See, he also looked like Steve Martin.
him, and that this was an act of domestic terrorism. When you see that video, it does not seem to comport with that statement. But let's break it down, Max. What she's saying is...
All right. Before they break it down, I want to make sure that y'all see that they're still lining up. They're still lining up. They're going to get it together and get going eventually, but don't act like we don't look at all of it in this cult over here, okay? They're still lining up.
Car was driving towards the officers. He thought the other officer might be dragged by it or it might, run him over. So he took defensive action by opening fire. Now, we're suggesting a lot, pretending to know what was in that officer's mind. But if you take her statement, that seems to be what she's indicating was the reason for the shots. Now, if you look at it another way, it appears they're trying to get the woman out of the car. They appear to want to take her into custody for either following them or blocking them as they are out on their operations as a protester. She is not an illegal immigrant. She's not a migrant. She's a U.S. citizen who was apparently following the agents on a targeted operation. And it appears they were trying to arrest.
He's following the agents on a targeted operation. Hold on. Why are these people out here already with these gas masks on? Because they knew that they was going to go out there and start some damn, like who walks around with one of those things that go here and then they, it's a gas mask, right? And they come out with this big thing right there. Who the hell do that? about to get into some bullshit.
Custody for either following them or blocking them as they are out on their operations as a protester. She is not an illegal immigrant.
He's spraying that stuff like they roaches, child. This is crazy.
Was the reason for the shots. Now, if you look at it another way, it appears they're trying to get the woman out of the car. They appear to want to take her into custody for either following them or blocking them as they are out on their operations as a protester. She is not an illegal immigrant. She's not a migrant. She's a U.S. citizen who was apparently following the agents.
I bet you they out there saying, "Don't touch her. She's a woman. Why is she out there? I thought y'all wanted to be equal anyway. Equal. Men and women are the same. They're the same. They do the same. They're the same. Child, they're the same. There you go. She wanted to be out there. I'm talking about these people that they just showed. She wanted to be out there. Don't be trying to talk about she's a woman. Equality, child. Lest we not forget about the equality.
They're trying to get the woman out of the car. They appear to want to take her into custody for either following them or blocking them as they are out on their operations as a protester. She is not an illegal immigrant. She's not a migrant. She's a U.S. citizen.
Oh my God, are we really going to try to say this now, that the reason why is they thought that she was an illegal immigrant? No, she was in the fucking way. She was in the way on purpose.
Who was apparently following the agents on a targeted operation, and it appears they were trying to arrest her when she decided to try and drive away. This is going to be enormously controversial, and this is going to be an incident that raises questions about who's in charge of this investigation. The FBI typically would take this up, but the Minneapolis state authorities are also looking into it. Their Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, according to the mayor and the governor, are going to enter the case. But what happens if the state tries to bring charges and the federal government says he was acting in his lawful capacity?
It is difficult to watch, but we are going to show it again, John. If you could just talk us through the video. Obviously, as you point out, we don't know what the officer was seeing when he looked inside the car, but talk us through it.
So this is the officers. Now she's waiting, and shortly thereafter, the woman is deceased. That is the entire length of just a few seconds that it took for this incident to unfold. It is going to take a few months or years to untangle all that comes with it and the death of this woman.
Let's also bring up the pictures of the protest that followed, because they were pretty sudden. They showed a lot of emotion. And I mean, obviously, you know, with camera footage, it's always difficult, isn't it? A small crowd can feel a lot bigger, but some of the close-ups, it almost feels like a war zone when you look at what the ICE officers were wearing, those big armored suits, the masks, and they were firing chemicals. What did you make of that moment that followed?
Well, I mean, you've got to set the context, Max, which is we're in Minneapolis. This is the city where the George Floyd death spurred a police reform and protest movement that went on literally for years after that occurred in 2020. The scene of this shooting of a woman who was shot by federal agents and killed is probably a mile from where George Floyd died at the hands of Minneapolis police. This is a community that has already had its anger against law enforcement, its own police. There's been a couple of years of healing, of outreach that has taken a long time and a lot of effort to build towards some kind of understanding. And this is a spark today that
they will come in tears to the state.
And they had already been on the ground to some extent before today?
No, it was in response to this event.
One more. Sorry, just to clarify the intention of the National Guard, is there any chance of the National Guard going against federal claims to protect Minnesotans?
I'm sorry, what was it?
Was the National Guard ever deployed against federal agents to protect Minnesotans, even in the context of what happened earlier today?
Well, I said this yesterday. We've never been at war with our federal government. I think in this case that the National Guard is their main mission. They have a dual mission. There's the federal mission when they're under Title 10 orders, and then they're under Title 32 orders. And this warning order, there's nothing officially been done yet. If I am to activate them as the commander-in-chief of the Minnesota National Guard, I will issue the executive order to the Minnesota National Guard, and then they will be put in state duty status. And as you've seen over the last few years, that could be flood prevention, that could be after a wind blowing storm up in the north, up in Bemidji, or it could be COVID or George Floyd response. In this case, again, it doesn't necessarily change the mission. They're there to protect Minnesotans. They're there to serve Minnesotans. I think the thing that is so challenging in the moment we're in is we don't see a desire to work with us on public safety. We hear a demonization of our state. We see people coming in who don't know our community. And we see this massive display for the TVs that we're trying to understand how is this coordinated. And some of you watch the videos on there, total chaos. And look, I have very limited work in this is the training in the National Guard, but I've had a lot of training now to watch how our professionals operate. After this person was shot, federal agents milling around, touching the vehicle at a crime scene and things. I don't know what to tell you. And I don't quite know how to respond to the question other than my primary responsibility as governor is the protection of the people of Minnesota. And you can be assured whether it's the State Patrol or whether it's the National Guard, their deployment is there to protect Minnesotans from whatever it is, if it's an act of nature.
Well, first of all, this is live. This is Timmy talking yet again. Timmy looked like he's losing a lot of weight around here, and I'm distracted by this sign languager lady. Reaper, thank you, honey. He said, to all in the chat, please do not type in all caps. Yes, please don't type in caps. Hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. Come on, Timmy. Don't forget, this is right around the corner from where the thing that happened with George Floyd happened, okay?
Well, one more, Dana. Dana. Look, and I understand the uniqueness of this moment in this week, following this week, seeing what's happening in the backdrop of a show hearing in D.C. My job is to govern, and my job is to see what the facts are. This happened a couple of hours ago, and we're already pitting American against American. All of you saw a video.
Timmy, you started it. What are we talking about? As soon as he came out, or was it Frey? Y'all started talking about Donald Trump. This is what he wanted. This is what y'all needed to happen. We talked about this. That's what he said. I was just talking about this, and I told you that this was going to happen. What are you talking about, Timmy? You started it. You were the first one to speak, and that's exactly what he. Child, you don't pay attention. You don't listen to these motherfuckers. I tell you, they think they slick, child. We listening to him, okay? He's full of shit. He's going to accuse people on the other side of doing exactly what he's doing and started doing as soon as he came out here talking, as well as Fry, whatever his name is, as well as the mayor. Him and all this cussing on damn TV and whatnot. Child, he learned how to speak English real quick, didn't he?
You in your eyes, we have a chaotic situation caused by the largest deployment in American history of federal agents into a community with no communication to locals. We had a chaotic situation where an individual is in their car shot and killed. And so, look, I want to be very cautious here because Donald Trump will make this about me. Look. He will make this about politics. This is about public safety, and this is about normalcy. To Americans who are watching this, if you're in Portland or you're in LA or you're in Chicago or you're wherever they're coming next, stand with us. Stand with us against this. This was...
We want to get you on our side. This is all politics for Donald Trump and child. Y'all make sure you get on my side. We want you on my side. But that's not what I'm doing. That's what he does. Not me, not us, but him. Not us. Be on my side, though.
So preventable, so unnecessary, and I don't know. I hope maybe we're at the McCarthy moment. Do you have no decency? Do you have no decency? We have someone dead.
You have no decency. You have no decency, but we don't do nothing like that. It's always them. You have no decency. Go ahead, Timmy.
In their car for no reason whatsoever. And I don't want to be right about this, but I said if they do this, they're going to create a chaotic situation where someone innocent's going to get killed. And they did it. And now
they did it. If you keep doing this, you're going to create a situation where somebody is going to get killed. And they did it. There's somebody in the car. So I guess, I'm sure Timmy watched the video, but he don't hear, like Rose said, that they were following ICE. That makes sense for a woman to do. Yes, we bringing it down to genders, okay? That makes sense for a woman to do. to follow around a bunch of people in military type gear with weapons in their hand. Yeah, let's follow them, child. Then let's block the damn road. Forget all that, child. Nah, this is again what Donald Trump created. It's all his fault. And she's just an innocent woman around here, which I'm trying to look at BD Hoskins. I can't see. Thank you, boo. I'm trying to find that out. Thank you for letting me know. Y'all hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new.
We hear more political rhetoric. Enough. Enough is enough. And so to Minnesotans.
So this isn't political rhetoric. Timmy said we hear enough political rhetoric, but that's not what this is, y'all. Okay?
Don't take the bait. Do not take the bait. Do not allow them to deploy federal troops into here. Do not allow them to invoke the Insurrection Act. Do not allow them to declare martial law. Do not allow them to lie about the security and the decency of this state. And let's let this investigation play itself out. Let's make sure we protect our neighbors. I encourage you to use your First Amendment rights and all of your constitutional rights, but do so in a peaceful manner. We'll gather back with you as soon as we gather more information that needs to be put out. But again, stay safe, Minnesotans, and we'll be back with you.
Get a new interpreter. I can't concentrate.
And welcome back live. Now you're watching a growing memorial at 34th and Portland in the city of Minneapolis. A cross has been laid out, flowers and candles. The scene of an ICE agent involved shooting from earlier this morning happened around 9:30 this morning as ICE operations were taking place in this area. Protesters were gathering and a woman who was a constitutional observer was shot and killed. ICE agents and the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, saying that ICE agents acted defensively, but we are seeing tonight there are a lot of reactions to what happened as video surfaces on social media. The number of people that were there with cell phones at the time mean that a lot of video is now circulating online. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 9 and Fox Local. I'm Kelsey Carlson.
And I'm Randy Meyer. There you see it's a very different scene 6+ hours after an incident that occurred at East 34th and Portland Avenue in Minneapolis about 9:30 this morning. That is the community's response. There has been another response. There is.
All right, let me go over to the New York Post because they do know who this woman is. So shout out to the New York Post. It says these damn ads. Come on. Renee Nicole Good, identified by mother as woman fatally SHOT by ICE agent in Minneapolis. And this is as of 4:52, so 20 minutes ago. The woman fatally gunned down by ICE agents in Minneapolis was identified as beloved 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, a beloved and compassionate resident of the Twin Cities, her mother said. But what else would we expect to hear from her mom, right? Good was publicly identified by her mother hours after she was gunned down, the Star Tribune reported. Renee was one of the kindest people I've ever known, said her mother, Donna Granger. She was extremely compassionate. She's taken care of people all her life. She was loving, forgiving, and affectionate. She was an amazing human being. Okay. That's so stupid, Granger said of the daughter's death. She was probably terrified. Good was killed in a middle-class neighborhood in South Minneapolis, where ICE agents were carrying out an immigration operation Wednesday. She was among several people who allegedly blocked the street. Hold on. She was among several people who allegedly blocked the street with their vehicles to prevent the agents from. I know you effing lying. So it was planned. How did mama know? It was planned. Just like we said. Just like I thought. So confirmation. You can't want to be out there in the mix, in the fray, and then when something happens to you, cry foul. You can't do that. What are we talking about right now? If your ass was at home or at work, this wouldn't have happened. But y'all around here following ICE agents, y'all be like, I don't know why it's dragging. Y'all around here following ICE agents. Y'all allegedly know how dangerous they are. I mean, they do have weapons, but y'all still won't go over there and follow them. That's what we doing. That's what makes sense. She was among several people who allegedly blocked the street with their vehicles to prevent the agents from moving. So, which is the same thing that the white car was obviously allegedly doing. You know what I mean? Because it's like, well, where's the person in the white truck? Because the door is sitting there open. Well, where they at? I mean, we already could infer that that's what it was, but now the mama is right here confirming it. I guess we shouldn't believe her either. Ooh. It's showing the inside of the vehicle. I won't show that. Agents got out of their blocked truck and ordered the woman to move the SUV, at which point she sped toward one of the officers, pushing him with her vehicle. As he spun toward the driver's seat window, he fired 3 shots into the car. Footage from numerous angles which we've seen. She was shot at least once in the head and later pronounced dead at the hospital. The Department of Homeland Security called her a domestic terrorist who attempted to kill federal agents. One of these violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them, an act of domestic terrorism. DHS Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs, Tricia McLaughlin, wrote on Twitter. Good's mother was baffled by the idea of her being involved in an ICE protest, however, saying she was not part of anything like that at all. Mama, it don't sound like it, child. It don't sound like it. Her SUV swiftly crashed into a row of parked cars as onlookers screamed in horror. Local leaders did not hide their outrage over the killing as the footage began to spread. To ICE, get the F out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Jacob Frey, that's his name. Mayor Jacob Frey said, your stated reason for being in the city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite, he scoffed. Governor Tim Walz called the DHS explanation of the shooting propaganda. I've seen the video. Don't believe this propaganda machine, Walz wrote on X. The state will ensure there is a full, fair, and expeditious investigation to ensure accountability and justice. The shooting came as the DHS was engaged in an enormous immigration operation in Minnesota, partially spurred by allegations of multi-billion-dollar federal fraud schemes, allegedly carried out largely by illegal immigrants. So does that just go by the wayside now because of all this? So is everybody going to forget about the daycare fraud and the other fraud and all that other stuff? Oh, okay. Anyway. So yeah, let me see if they got anything else. Oh shit. Oh no, that was earlier today. Lord have mercy. Child. This is crazy. There's a lot. There's a lot going on today.
We're going to show you the perspective from behind, from somebody who had a cell phone out at the scene when all of this was taking place.
No! No! Shame! Shame!
So it happens again very
East 34th and Portland Avenue, Minneapolis know exactly where we're talking about. If you know where Powderhorn Park is, then basically you're in that very area there. So this is what happened about 9:37 this morning is when this shooting occurred. It's important to note, and we do have Corn Hoggard on scene, but I'm going to go to him in just a second. Important to note in this situation as journalists and reporters, we're just going to throw the facts to you. We're going to give you the facts as we know it. There's a lot of people out there evaluating what happened from different perspectives, both their own eyewitness perspective, and then of course the perspective of elected officials and perspective of the federal government. So we're just going to do our best to try and show you the facts, show you what is there, and we need to play this investigation out like we have any other major event here in the Twin Cities that required a massive investigation, and this is one of those. So keep that in mind as you watch our coverage today.
Yeah, those perspectives are very far apart right now.
Yes.
The opinions of what happened, very, very far apart. Also want to mention, you heard the governor speaking about 20 minutes ago. We replayed his press conference from 2:40 this afternoon, and he made some announcements about how they're going to operate tonight as they anticipate maybe some protests and some more volatility in the Minneapolis area. They have activated the State Emergency Operations Center. The National Guard has been given a warning order, sort of a heads up to be ready to be activated if they need to be. The mobile response team, that's part of the State Patrol, dozens of those members have been activated as well. And he said he does not want the federal government coming in here and helping out in any way with any sort of military presence. So they've asked people to please be peaceful, not march in the streets, to exercise their right to demonstrate, but not get violent.
His words were, do not give them a reason. I'm going to quote something that he said as he was wrapping it up. He says, exercise your constitutional rights, but do it peacefully, in a peaceful manner. So he was asking, and obviously, if you know.
We'll see if that's possible, because once it gets dark, I think it might turn a little bit different, allegedly.
And what erupted after George Floyd. No one is anticipating that that would be the case here, but the governor is trying to assure all of you out there that they are aware of the potential and that they are prepared to protect the public in a case like this if something were to happen as a result of this. So they are being very cautious about it and trying to be diligent about it as we move forward. I did mention that Corn is on scene, and he's been on scene all morning long.
Yeah, and so and if we can go to Corn now, just let me know. But I also mentioned local law enforcement. They don't work with ICE agents. In fact, the governor said that they don't really get any heads up coordination information at all. They act very separately, but local law.
I was going to say, why would they let somebody know that they're coming? I think the element of surprise would be what they would be trying to work under, right? Even though you already knew that they were coming, what more did y'all need to know?
Law enforcement will come on scene and they'll monitor the crowd management.
Minneapolis has what's known as a separation ordinance, which means they can't technically cooperate in the way that you might think they should cooperate. State and local government always asks that the federal government let them know what's happening, but that the cooperation kind of ends there. They're not going to help ICE or DHS in any way find somebody. They will show up, as you point out, on the scene if there's if there needs to be an effort to protect the public in that case. I think we do have the name of the victim right now. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we've just confirmed the name of the victim, 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good. And Lori, who's our producer right now, any confirmation as to whether or not she lived here in the area? Okay. Okay, so this is from Minneapolis City Council. They're saying that she was a Minneapolis resident. And it had been reported earlier by our crews out there that she was a constitutional observer. And there are a number of people who even go through training to know how to exercise their right to be in public, observe what's happening with these detentions, but not. They're trained to not interfere because that is where you can be detained yourself.
And that would be the rub if this investigation plays itself out where the video is showing her and we don't know what precipitated the vehicle being, across lanes of traffic, potentially blocking agents from doing their job. And so that's where the investigation will begin. And obviously it will end with the fatal shooting. But those are the semantics that various agencies will be knee-deep in the hours, days, and weeks to come.
And those agents,
well, at least they said it, right?
Agencies that will be involved in the investigation are the FBI and the BCA as well. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension will jointly be investigating what happened on scene from a local perspective and then a federal perspective. It's unknown whether or not these ICE agents had body cameras. Some of them.
Ooh, that's good. But you know that this side is going to have one explanation. This side going to have another explanation, and they're not going to come together. This is how it works around here now, child.
Do wear those body-worn cameras, but there are many that we're under the impression do not. So we've been given no indication as to whether or not they had them on today.
We should note for those of us who are just
Do y'all know, do ICE agents wear body cam?
joining us that we do believe that about 5 o'clock, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem will be addressing the public in a news conference type situation from Minneapolis. I know that earlier today she was in Texas where she did make a statement, the one that you just read. But she is, we're being told, will be in Minneapolis, probably already arrived if she's on time, and will step in front of a microphone around 5 o'clock.
We'll take that live as soon as that happens when we are given the go-ahead. Let's go out to Corin now, who's been live on the scene at 34th and Portland in Minneapolis since early this morning. So, Corin, just kind of walk us through what the day has been like and what you're seeing at the scene now.
Yeah, I do think listening to you guys for the last several minutes, a couple of key points of context maybe come from the folks I've talked to. I think about 10 of them, maybe a little more, on the west side of Portland Avenue here.
Child, you see they got babies out there. Child, go home. It's cold too.
We've seen the video, and people have whatever perspective on that. That may help them kind of, establish what they believe happened and what should or shouldn't have happened. I can say that a lot of the witnesses I talked to said that the woman was getting conflicting orders from ICE agents. And so you saw, they said she was blocking the road. Well, you saw her car on the road. So what they're telling me was that at least one ICE agent and maybe more were telling the woman to get out of here. And then as soon as she tried to get out of here, other agents were trying to keep her here. And so that, I think, when you look at the video, that is something to keep in mind. She's getting conflicting.
Uh-oh, that's going to be a problem, child. That's going to be a problem.
Orders from the ICE agents on site. Another thing I'm noticing here just now, and then I can kind of circle back to what happened throughout the day, but this crowd is getting a lot bigger as the day goes on. So the police have cleared out of here. First, they cleared ICE out down 34th. Then Minneapolis police and Hennepin County Sheriff's deputies remained on the scene as kind of the investigation was underway. We saw the FBI here. We saw BCA here conducting investigative operations. And then as soon as they all left, this kind of filled the vacuum here. And we got the boys and hurry who in the back in that yeah, we know.
Child, did we turn it into a different language? What is going on?
Well, that's why we have a scrubber on TV. Obviously, people are very
Did y'all hear that? What the hell?
highly energized out there with a lot of emotions. And the media.
That was a whole different ass language. What are he talking about? People out there. That was a whole different language they started talking. What in the world?
See you guys for the last several. The folks I've talked, we opened and what you. So you saw to get out of here, agents. That is something to keep in. Other thing I'm noticing here is getting police out down 34th as kind of the conducting investigation. This kind of filled the vacuum here. And we got the boys and they live hurry who in the back in that yeah, we know it's the cost before that.
Well, that's why we have.
Child, what language was that? What is going on? It's like somebody just interrupted the feed. What the fuck? Shout out to Jay. I appreciate you, boo. He said these mofos spin more narratives than Charlotte's Web. I don't disagree. Yeah, like a hacker alert or something. Woo! Lord help your people. Anyway, y'all, it's been almost 3 hours. I think Kristi Noem comes on at 6 o'clock, but tonight I'm going to be on ARP's show, so I will be back in a couple of hours. So I got to go and, as always, get something to eat. But hopefully y'all come back. Obviously, I'm sure this is what we will be talking about. It's not even a question as far as I'm concerned. So shout out to all of y'all that made it this far. I see you. I appreciate you. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you are new. All right. So again, I'll be back later. ARP, yes, it's a multi-stream, so it'll be streamed here on my channel as well. It's not till 9 p.m. EST. So hopefully y'all will come back. All right. Shout out to y'all. Thank you so much to everyone that donated, everybody that just subscribed. Again, please make sure you hit the like button, hit the damn dislike button. I don't care. Just hit a button. All right. I appreciate you. I see you all.